Hey guys, it's Allie with Allie Answers. I hope you're having a fantastic day. The question I get asked most often is, how do I convince my parents to allow me to get them some help? Now, that can be help in a lot of different ways. It could be home health, it could be hospice, it could be housekeeping, it could be meal preparation, it could be a sitter or a companion sitter. So let's talk about the 3 different ways that you should approach this problem. Number 1, you want to figure out what their greatest fear is. Everyone has a fear. So for very independent people and folks who are used to being on their own and making their own choices, especially people who have been leaders in business or in their family, it is very hard for them to consider giving up independence and giving up options. If your loved one or your parent is one of those folks who is fiercely independent, then that is their greatest fear. Most seniors are going to agree that one of their greatest fears is losing their home if they are still living there. So in that case, the best approach might be, I know that one of your fears is giving up your independence and you don't want to give up your home. So what I want to do, Mom, what I want to do, Dad, is help you figure out a plan so that that greatest fear does not come to pass. If you don't want to leave your home, I'm going to do what I can to keep you in your home. When you start the conversation that way, admitting that you know what their big fear is and that your main goal is to protect them from having to deal with that fear, then that is a good way of getting them to listen. Number 2 is much like number 1, but it is the exact opposite. So that is, what are their goals? What's important to them? What is a priority? This past weekend, I met with a sweet couple that had been in their house for 57 years. The most important thing for them is to be able to stay in their home. Desire to stay where they are is something that you're going to find in common with most seniors. Wherever they are, they want to stay. If it's the home they've been in, then they want to stay there. If they're living in a community, then they want to stay where they are in that community. If they're in the independent part of a senior living community, then they usually don't want to move to assisted living and they want to stay where they are. If they're in assisted living, then they don't want to move to memory care. They want to stay where they are. We can use what they want as an advantage the same way that we use what their greatest fear is. Dad, I know that what matters to you is that you stay in your home. After 57 years, the last thing you want to do is give this up. So let's talk about how to keep you here safely. So numbers 1 and 2 are basically the exact opposite and part of the same advice, which is find out what their greatest fear is, find out what their goal is. Work with them to maintain their situation if that's what's important, or if you're dealing with someone who is exhausted, tired of making meals, scared of being alone. So in that case, maybe moving in with family or moving to a senior living that would give them the support and the encouragement and the people around them in the evening that would make them feel safe. Maybe that's the answer. A stranger can often come in and offer the exact same advice that you might offer, and guess what? They're going to listen. Having a professional come into the home and have a meeting with your loved one and understand what their greatest fear, what their greatest desire is, and helping them make that a reality by using that professional is the key. So you're using all 3 of my tips all at once. If, for example, your mom is afraid at night and she doesn't like being by herself and being in her home has become cumbersome and exhausting for her, then maybe moving into an assisted living would be the best bet. So in that case, what I would recommend is having someone from the assisted living that you like best come out and talk to your mom. Sit down and explain why they can solve her problem. And then if you can, get her out to the community. Let her have lunch with residents. Let her go to an activity. Let her listen to music and eat ice cream and enjoy the environment and realize, number 1, her greatest fear of being alone will be gone. Number 2, her greatest desire to be around other people and not be afraid at night will be solved. And number 3, you used someone else to help you get the job done. No matter what your goals are for your loved ones, I believe that this formula will work for you. I'd love to hear below if you've used this formula and it worked for you. Please like and subscribe. This helps more people see the videos and it helps us do more good. Hope you have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.